But luckily, I live next to a graveyard. Countries are beginning to advertise themselves nowadays, which really annoys me, because they're very rarely true. They're always like, come to Scotland, where the views are great, and the people are friendly. When really it should be, come to Scotland, where the kebab shops are many, and the teeth are few. I've recently become a father, and so people have been offering me advice on parenting. One piece of advice I've been given is to always follow your gut, because it's often right. So, when my daughter was having a 2-hour meltdown, I followed my gut and fucked off to McDonald's. Another piece of advice I've been given is try different type of nappy brand see which ones you get on with. So naturally I've tried Pampers, I've tried Huggies, I've even tried Lidl's own brand, all of which I found useless. None of them fit me. Looking back at the whole baby process, I think the bit I struggled with most was the childbirth, because it was wonderful, yet scary. Wonderful because I got to see my daughter being born, but scary because no one told me she would come out purple. So when she was born, my first thought wasn't, isn't she beautiful? It was, fuck, my partner's had an affair with Barney the dinosaur. And seeing my partner in pain is quite an awkward experience for me. And when I'm in awkward situations, I like to make jokes to alleviate the tension. My problem is the timing of these jokes. Like when she had to be induced to go into labour. And when they do this, they use a large milk hook to pop the embryonic sac. So, when the nurse put the hook up there, I couldn't help myself but go, if your hook a duck, it's a prize every time! I want a baby! Anyway, when my daughter was born, I promised myself I'd never become a deadbeat dad. You know, a deadbeat dad who contributes very little to their children and has nothing to do with them. Instead, I'll be a semi-deadbeat dad. I'll do everything a normal deadbeat dad does, but with a semi. I do have some parenting experience though, as I'm actually a stepdad to 2 teenagers, which is opening up to new experiences. I go and get breasts measured. And when I go, it's usually me and a bunch of mums and their daughters. And it's so awkward, because all they do is look and stare. But I've got to say, I'm glad I've done it though. As a naval confirmation, I'm a 38C. Being a stepdad can be tricky. There are some situations where it's hard to know whether to step in or out. I often have to be told. Thank God for the hokey-cokey. I asked Google for some advice, and it said that teenagers need freedom with boundaries. So I put an ankle tag on them. Parenting can be a tricky line to tread. Kids will always fight. And apparently it's right of me to try and let them resolve it by themselves. But wrong of me to start placing bets. For years I've been trying to get them to open up to me. And then, just the other day, they went, I hope my mum regrets marrying you. I hope that you split up. I dream of the day that you're not here. And I couldn't believe it. They told me their hopes and dreams. My mate seems to think we're in some sort of competition. I get a higher paying job, so does he. I buy a new car, so does he. I sleep with his sister. He is from the Isle of Wight, so... Me and the missus have different names for each other when we're making love. I call her Nicole because I fancy Nicole Kidman. And she calls me Justin because I've got a tiny cock. When I left college, I took a gap year. But the first place I went to, I ended up staying for the full year. There was free pool, cheap meals, and I got to have sex every day. I love jail. My dad hates cold callers, so whenever he gets one, he likes to make them think that they've called a wrong number. So whenever he hears, hello, my name is Liz, according to our database, you're owed some compensation. He goes, circumcisions are us, you flop 'em, we chop 'em. The surgeon who removed one of my testicles the other week has stopped responding to my messages, and now I'm not sure where, and then I'm... That's always enough, isn't it? Should we start again, that one? Yeah. Good luck having your backing on that one. Right, the surgeon who removed one of my testicles the other week has stopped responding to my messages, and now I'm not sure where we stand. I guess the ball's in his court now. I can tell that was worth it, guys, wasn't it? Thank you for the pity applause. So you sound just like my wife there. So I'm currently directing Shakespeare's Hamlet, and I've got to decide between two lead actors. There's Toby, who has a lot of stage presence, and then there's Simon, who has more experience. So it begs the question, Toby or not Toby? There's 2 more of these coming, guys. Get on board with it, alright? I read this story on Facebook of a guy who died and was meant to be buried up north, but was actually buried down south by accident. Grave mistake. I can tell you're enjoying this. You're thinking, fuck me, when's this break? So right, one more pun, guys, one more pun. We can do this. Okay. When I proposed to my wife, I used a balloon that had the words, "Will you marry me?" which then burst. I popped the question. Oh yeah, I'm going home proud tonight, guys. Oh God. So I was in my car, and this police officer was flashing his lights, going wee woo wee woo, and came right up my arse. And then he pulled out, and I took him home. I went to the drug clinic today and found out that's now all done by phone. So I called the number, and it went, "If you want help with your marijuana addiction, please press hash." I find it weird how you can do certain things at some ages, but not at others. Like if a 4-year-old runs around at the beach in just their knickers, no one bats an eyelid. But when I do it, I get asked where I got a 4-year-old's knickers from. When working as a gardener for one of my customers, I saw a lot of dandelions, roses and tulips. I wish you'd pull up her knickers. I used to work in a shop selling prosthetics, and this one guy came in and bought one for £200 in cash. I had to hand it to him. I was once a mystery shopper, or was I? I wasn't, just a... The best thing about having an argument with my missus is the makeup sex. But apparently, lipstick doesn't go up my bum. When I last flew with Ryanair, I had to ask for a seatbelt extender because I was too fat, which they charged me for. So if I didn't have enough on my plate. Right guys, so when people find out I do stand-up comedy, they like to come up to me and tell me jokes and go, "Oh, you can use that one on stage." Do you want to hear them? Jesus Christ, I thought we had to time it down with Jack. Right, 1, 2, 3. Yeah. There we go, much better. Thank you for joining in this, yeah, appreciate that. I was attacked by an XL bully the other day. It's the last time I go to Weight Watchers. A man went to the doctors and said, "I'm not feeling too well. My heart keeps racing, my head keeps spinning." The doctor said, "I think you're going to have to stop masturbating." He said, "Why?" "Because I have to examine you." I was in the pub, and they had this Thai bird in there wearing a miniskirt, with her arse out here and her tits out there, and I thought, don't get an erection, don't get an erection. She did. I met a bunch of fans who support teams based on their favourite thing to eat. One guy supports West Ham because he eats ham. Another guy supports Liverpool because he eats liver. And I've got to say that logic works, because I support Arsenal. The fuck was that? Someone laughing on helium over there. A 7-year-old and a 4-year-old said to each other, "Shall we swear today?" And they both went, "Yeah." And they went down to breakfast. And the mum asked the 4-year-old, "What would you like for breakfast?" And he went, "I'll have some Frosties, you bitch." And she slapped him around the face. She then turned to the 7-year-old and went, "And what would you like for breakfast?" He said, "I know one thing for sure. I don't want any fucking Frosties." I've been Jack Bartlett. Thank you for your time.